That's proper hatred, that is.
Wenger did not take it well.
Why do you look at me?
Then you know they have an issue here.
It was fantastic television.
If you talk about desperation...
I am not playing mind games, I am talking about facts.
Essentially, Benitez accused Ferguson of manipulating referees and having too much influence over the FA, particularly over the fixture list.
I am talking about facts.
It was almost like signing a certificate for your own insanity and just giving it to the press. It was the fact. I've been looking at Ferguson way more closely than he's been looking at me. I'm unravelling in public. Fact.
Of course, they don't have enough courage to say anything to each other's faces. We're just going to bitch to our friends, the media.
He was just at that boiling point, and he just tipped over.
It's no contest because he's a master of mind games.
It was another classic case of Fergie winning, because at the end of that season, Manchester United won the league.
The best modern spat's got to be José Mourinho and Pep Guardiola. Brilliant, superb. He takes it onto the pitch, he gets it right through his players, Mourinho. I mean, the big bust-up with Real Madrid and Barcelona, where he goes on the pitch, he even kicks Cesc Fabregas on the floor when he goes down.
I'm a massive fan of Mourinho. I think he's just brilliant. He had Guardiola literally on a stick, even to the point where I think Inter just had someone sent off. Mourinho just went up to Guardiola, just whispered in his ear, "You think it's over, it's not." And he was right. And then he tried to celebrate afterwards in front of him, and the Barcelona goalkeeper tried to pick him up and move him. I just love the arrogance of the man.
Walter Mazzarri and Antonio Conte don't even try and hide the fact that they don't like each other.
Bizarrely, over the use of the 3-5-2 formation. Mazzarri at Napoli was the guy who really made this popular again, the first guy really to bring it back into the modern Italian game. And he had huge success with it, so much so that when Juve last season went down to Naples, to San Paolo to face Napoli, they also adopted 3 at the back. And it was an incredible game. Juve went 3-1 down, but brought it back to 3-3 to earn the draw and go on to win the title. But in the post-game press conference that day, Mazzarri was asked what he thought about how the game had gone. He said, "Listen, I don't like it. Conte has been copying me. Conte now won't talk to him anymore. The pair don't shake hands or anything, all because of the 3-5-2.
West Ham scored a late winner against Arsenal. Marlon Harewood scored. Alan Pardew responded by doing a little jig on the touchline.
It was one of them, wasn't it? And Wenger really got the ump with me.
He squared up to Pardew, and after the game he refused to shake his hand.
He's got a master's degree in economics and he's at the forefront of sport technology and etc. etc. Are you taking do you want some?
Argentina's 2 World Cup winning managers, Cesar Luis Menotti, who won the World Cup in 1978, and Carlos Bilardo, who won the World Cup in 1986. The pair have had a long-running feud. It all stems from their contrasting styles of football. They used to speak regularly, like used to give them advice, and then I think it all stemmed from an article that was written in Clarín, and then it all took off from there, really.
So Argentinians, Eddie, beautiful people. Beautiful. One of the few countries in the world I could be bisexual. Beautiful.
Well, I think a lot has been said that the mind games doesn't take part, between managers, at the highest level. I think this was a classic case.
The problem between Benitez and Allardyce, and especially when Benitez was manager of Liverpool, he did not like the way that Allardyce's sides played football, and he got frustrated because when he went to Bolton, they used to beat Liverpool, and he just didn't like the long balls and the elbows.
And you compare it to Benitez, who for me was just like a squeaking gerbil.
Mourinho and Benitez calling Liverpool a small club. That's cheeky.
He manages to get under your skin, so he did it with Benitez.
We had Benitez saying that Mourinho wouldn't have won anything if it wasn't for Roman Abramovich's backing of Chelsea.
I'm walking down the line at the cup final, I'm giving that to all the Liverpool fans. You can just imagine the whole of Liverpool at one going, ah! Just curly perms, just straightening out.
The feud between Wenger and Ferguson started almost the day Wenger walked through the door, with Ferguson suggesting Arsenal were a small club, and of course they were huge title rival. It was either Arsenal or Man United winning the title at one point.
Wenger's just completely opposite of Ferguson. And all the quotes really wind him up. Like my favourite one is, well, everybody thinks they have the prettiest wife at home.
And Fergie thought that Wenger was slagging off his missus. he was talking about the football teams. But now they seem to get on well. I think that's because Arsenal aren't a big threat to United anymore. I mean, once you've beaten them 8-2, it's almost like an exhibition game now.
Old big head Brian Clough was always critical of Don Revie's Leeds United. Quite remarkable then that Brian Clough would follow Don Revie into the Leeds hot seat, where he lasted only 44 days after telling successful players to throw their medals in the bin.
That was a strange one, because I asked the gaffer about that once when I played under him, and he just said he didn't like the man. He just didn't like him. And I said, well, why did you take over Leeds then when he left? And he said, because I wanted to change their mentality. I wanted to change the way they'd done things, and wanted to get them to play football rather than kick people.
They went on telly. They couldn't even bear to look at each other. They wouldn't even call each other by their first names. It was Revie and Clough as they spoke to each other. Fantastic. Clough was the original special one. But they asked him, well, what went wrong? And Clough just went, results.
I would love it if you go to there and he gets beat.
Once you start shaking and pointing, you finish.
Switched on the news, Sky Sports, and there was Keegan's rant. I always remember at the time, got a couple of calls. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning. Got a couple of calls saying, "Have you just seen the gaffer?"
I was playing with Leeds United at the time, and Fergie was accusing, Leeds United. Let's just hope they play with the same intensity against Newcastle, which is an up-and-coming game, as they did here tonight at Old Trafford.
Ferguson, in his autobiography, read that, says it was marvellous to watch because he knew he had him.
Yeah, it was when Keegan just became a bloke and said what a lot of anti-United fans were thinking. But again, it's just giving the game away. It's just letting your guts out on telly.
I knew he'd gone. I knew the pressure had got to him and cracked. I've never seen Kevin like that before in my life. To do that live on air, and Alex must have been laughing.
The way that Newcastle just unravelled after that.
Oh, he basically served his arse to him on a plate.
But as a manager, if you do that, it's a sign of weakness. And unfortunately, everyone thought that he'd lost it, and Fergie had won the mind game with him, and I suppose he had, because we ended up losing the title.
Fergie's a genius on getting under people's skins, and it cost him his championship. That was it.